I am still a national champion. I will claim the 2023 Michigan National Championship as my own. I will say I'm a national championship until the day I die. And that's what's great about college sports, because I live, breathe, and bleed at this point. Probably haven't cut myself in a while, but I'm maize and blue. So I am a national championship. I am part of the 2023 National Championship. If they sold a national championship ring, I would probably buy it. And that's just where we're at in the life of Micaiah. So 10-minute sports report. I'm Captain Boring. Thank you, everyone, for being here. I saw your advice. Thank you, everyone, for just either encouraging me to take a break from this or cutting back even more than what I already do. I do appreciate that. I will try to work on random sports trivia. I try not to use too much language in these 10-minute sports reports. The podcast is a little bit different. However, I feel like we've cut back an extensive amount and we barely use them, if at all. I would say Robert's the best at not using it. Me followed. And then, of course, Admiral is kind of in there. So, yes, these 10-minute sports report, I strive to be language free. Absolutely. So if I do use language, please call me out on these in 10-minute sports report. I'm trying to be language free in these sports reports so they can be shared, because I know my audience and the audience of who the people I'm trying for those people to share it with. I know that age range and I know how they feel about dirty sailor mouths. I just about said a bad word there. So yeah, no, absolutely. I will try to do that. I may naturally just be cut. I may just naturally be cut back. Go follow us, Fourth and One Podcast. Again, add that podcast in their Instagram page, like and subscribe, share with your family and friends if you care, or share with randos. It doesn't have to be family and friends. Maybe you hate someone. Maybe you want to share it with them, because maybe you just don't like this that much and you want to, all laugh, have a good laugh at my expense. The streaming content is fast and furious. I am probably going to upload an hour and a half long. You don't got to watch it in one sitting. I cut it back. I recorded 3.5 hours the one Saturday that it snowed. Cut it back to an hour and a half. You don't got to watch it all in one sitting. You don't even have to watch a majority of it. But me and Robert do play a game in there. So if you want to go watch that, I really enjoy doing it. I like talking kind of people through my thought process. I feel like it actually helps me play better, just because I'm thinking out loud and I'm explaining key decisions that I do. So go check that out. Again, if you're doing things, I have it on in the background. When I edit videos, I will actually have my favorite streamer, shout out Brett Barrett, TD Barrett on YouTube, who actually kind of gave me this idea. He's the only streamer I watch, but I will have him on in the background while I'm editing my own stream. So again, it's not very good. It's not professional. I'm not looking to make money on it. I just enjoy doing it. That content probably will increase, because I play a game, probably 2 games probably every 48 hours, save the stream, edit it. So I'll have content for that forever, and I really enjoy doing that. So but let's get into it. You came here for sports, so let's get into it. Random sports knowledge will probably be in later episodes, as I just got on, and I wanted to get something, but then I forgot. But let's start in the NFL. So Monday was called Firing Monday in the NFL. Actually, it was called Black Monday in the NFL. It's where coaches get let go from the NFL, et cetera, et cetera. This is also what I like to call is Jim Harbaugh watch. Bunch of coaches got fired, and now Jim Harbaugh is on the clock. Michigan won that national championship. He will now talk with teams. But after 14 seasons in Seattle, and this is a very interesting spot, 10 playoff appearances, the franchise's lone Super Bowl championship, Pete Carroll is out as the Seahawks coach and will move into an advisory role, the team owner, Joni Allen, announced Wednesday. Could this be a landing spot for Harbaugh? Because guess what? When Pete Carroll left college, USC, after winning a national championship, he went to Seattle, won a Super Bowl. Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll, the only active coaches currently to win a national championship and have a Super Bowl appearance. So could Seattle be a landing spot? 2 college coaches, 2 foes. Jim Harbaugh is credited with ending USC, starting to end the USC dynasty when Stanford walked in there as a 29-point underdog and beat USC in the Coliseum when he was coaching at Stanford. There's your random fun fact of the day, I guess. Could this be a landing spot? Because Jim will only go really to an NFL team where he gets along with the GM and upper management, or has complete control. So could Seattle be a landing spot? Right now, popular are the Raiders, don't have a GM, so Jim would help handpick the GM. The Chargers, he loves the quarterback Justin Herbert, also don't have a GM. Carolina will pay out the wazoo for just about anything, but their owner's crazy. Atlanta, their owner will pay out the wazoo. And it's been reported on some blogosphere sites and fan pages that Arthur Blank wants to look at one Kirby Smart right down the road in Athens, Georgia. So could that be a surprise? I highly doubt it, but I wouldn't blame. If Kirby wants to try anything, why not in Atlanta? The team is young. The team is talented in Atlanta. So again, landing spots for everyone involved. Also, not really a GM, but a head of football operations that is very willing to work with a head coach there in Atlanta. The Commanders right now, they don't have a GM either, but they just hired two people to start the search for a GM, but maybe Harbaugh could land there in the NFC East, and then Seattle. However, one team is completely off the table, and that is Chicago. I thought Chicago was the favorite to land Harbaugh just geographically. Midwest. Jim Harbaugh has that Midwest vibe. It's in the NFC, not the AFC, because in the AFC, his brother is there. So really, instead of knocking the brother out of the playoffs, you would play him in the Super Bowl if you met in the playoffs. However, Chicago is keeping head coach Matt Eberflus for the 2024 season. However, they did fire their offensive coordinator, Luke Getsy, today. Sources told ESPN that the Bears opted to keep Eberflus after extensive meetings Monday. Here's the deal. The Chicago Bears own the first overall pick, but their quarterback is young and improving. So do you go Caleb Williams? Do you keep Justin Fields, an Ohio State guy? They have a talented wide receiver. They have some good young running backs. Their defense is half decent. They drafted defense last year. A lot of people expected Matt Eberflus with how the beginning of the season looked in Chicago for him to be out, but he is in. They fired their offensive coordinator, so Chicago's off the table for Harbaugh. In New York, the Giants defensive coordinator Mark Martindale, yes, that's his first name, have mutually agreed to part ways. Martindale is free to sign elsewhere without restrictions. The Giants will keep the $3 million he was owed, according to agreements by both parties. He's a good defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale. It's just the Giants really didn't have the defensive talent. So there's that. So not a landing spot for Harbaugh, but a landing spot for a good defensive coordinator. Kawhi Leonard and the Los Angeles Clippers agree on a 3-year, $153 million contract extension for someone who doesn't play a whole lot. That's a whole lot of money. That's $50 million a year. The deal was announced Wednesday, but the team did not disclose terms. Sources told ESPN Insider Wojnarowski, that the deal will pay Leonard $52 million the first year and approximately $50 per season the next 2. The extension does not include a player option, according to Wojnarowski. Leonard is in the midst of one of his healthiest and productive seasons with the Clippers, and the extension ensures the Clippers will have their franchise star as they move into the new Intuit Dome next season. Expensive place that He used to be the head of Microsoft Pay for his name is escaping me. Leonard had until June 30th to sign the extension with a $48.7 million player option next season. So that is now null and void. Both Clipper stars entered the season eligible for maximum contract extension of 4 years, $223 million between him and Paul George. Leonard is averaging 23.8 points a game, 6 rebounds, and shooting 51% from the field and 43% from the arc. Since a 3-7 start, not long after trading for James Harden, the Clippers have won 20 of 26 games. Speaking of those Clippers and the NBA in general, let's take it back to a Monday night matchup where the Clippers played the Phoenix Suns and routed them 138-111. Paul George finished with 29 points. Kevin Durant finished with 30 points. Remember, Phoenix has Devin Booker. They have Kevin Durant, and they have Bradley Beal, 3 superstar scorers. Tuesday, nothing happened. So let's look at the standings. None of the team we've followed played Tuesday. Things happened on Tuesday. But the Philadelphia 76ers are now on a 2-game losing streak. They're 5-5 in their last 10. They're now 4.5 games back of first place, but they sit in third place in the Eastern Conference. They only sit 1 game behind the Milwaukee Bucks for second, and they sit 2 games ahead of the New York Knicks for fourth place. So they are comfortably kind of in that third seed right now. However, they need to get it together. The Cleveland Cavaliers are back down in the 7th seed. They sit 7 games behind the first place Boston Celtics. They are tied with the Heat and Pacers at 7 games behind. And the Orlando Magic sit just a half game behind those 3 teams for 5th, 6th, and 7th seed. If we look over into the Western Conference, the red-hot Denver Nuggets continued their winning ways. They won last time out. They're now 8-2 in their last 10 games. They sit 1 game back on the Minnesota Timberwolves for first place in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, those same Los Angeles Clippers I was just referring to sit 2 games back of the Nuggets and 3 games back of first place in the 4th seed position. They're 7-3 in their last 10 and won the last time out. Let's flip over to the National Hockey League, ladies and gentlemen. On Monday, the Boston Bruins, one of the best teams in the East, walked into Colorado and lost in a shootout 4-3. So Colorado, who's had a struggle in their last 10 games, gets a big-time win against a big-time opponent on their home ice. On Tuesday, Seattle traveled to Buffalo and got a W. Remember, Seattle's not that far out from a wild card spot in the playoffs for the NHL. They won 5-2. Anaheim went to Nashville and won 5-3. Still plenty of time for Anaheim to get back in it. However, talent would say otherwise. In terms of standing and position, so right now in the NHL, the Boston Bruins sit atop the Eastern Conference Atlantic Division. So that was a big-time win for the Avalanche. They have 56 points on the year. Guess what? That's third best in all of the NHL. 56 points is 2 points behind the Winnipeg Jets and 1 point behind the Vancouver Canucks for best record or best point getter in all of the NHL. They have 24 wins on the season, which is slightly worse than both the Canucks and Jets, who both have 27. But they're the best team in the East, so that's a big-time win. Western Conference, Avalanche, 7-2-1 in their last 10. They've kind of rebounded from their ways. However, the Winnipeg Jets are just red hot. They've won 7 straight games. They're 9-0-1 in their last 10 games. They have 58 points. That is 3 points better than the Colorado Avalanche, who have 55. In the Pacific, the Vegas Golden Knights. Maybe I had those teams backwards. It's the Vegas Golden Knights who have struggled in their last 10 games. They're 3-7-0. Now, they did win their last time out, but they're 6 points off the pace now of the Vancouver Canucks, who are 7-2-1 in their last 10, have won 3 straight games, and have 57 points. Meanwhile, the Kraken, oh boy, are they hot. 7 straight wins, 8 0-2 in their last 10, 43 points. The only problem is the team right ahead of them, the Edmonton Oilers, who also have 43 points, so they're kind of tied with them, have won 8 straight games, are 8-2-0 in their last 10. The Oilers are the hottest team in all of hockey right now. The coldest team in all of hockey is actually the Los Angeles Kings, who sit in third in the Pacific with 47 points, so only 4 points off the pace are the Oilers and Kraken, but they've lost 6 straight games. 3, 4, and 3 in their last 10. They need to pull it together. The playoffs for hockey, talking too fast and too hot. The Bruins, the Panthers, and the Maple Leafs would lead in the Atlantic. The Rangers, the Hurricanes, and the Flyers in the Metropolitan. The wild card would be the Islanders and Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference. Western would be the Jets, Avalanche, Stars in that order. The Pacific would be the Canucks, Knights, and Kings. Wild card would be the Predators and Oilers. Predators have 45 points. Oilers, Kraken both have 43. Coyotes have 42. Blues and Calgary Flames have 41. So everything is so tight in the NHL. My wife said, how do you get 10 minutes out of no sports? There are no more sports. Well, I got 15 minutes out of it. So thank you, everyone, for being here. Remember, God loves you. May God bless you. Wash those hands, you filthy animals. And we will see you sometime later. Until that time, peace out.